Harrison Tracy. Keep calm and carry on. There's a reason why this simple phrase, which originated decades ago, is so popular today, why it resonates with so many. It's enchanting, something we all strive for, yet can be seemingly unattainable. There is certainly no magic formula that will help bring the joy we all hope for into our lives. And I certainly do not have all, or even some of the answers, but what I do have is a story. This past summer, I worked at an all-boys sleepaway camp on Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire. I've gone to the camp the last 7 years, and it's a place where I've grown to love. In the second half of the summer, I, along with another leader, was responsible for a cabin of 10 cadet campers, the youngest age group in camp, anywhere from 8 to 11 years old. These guys would often provide me with a new sense of understanding for the term space cadets. At meals, certain campers would need to be constantly reminded to eat because for some reason, the food right in front of them wasn't enough of a reminder. It was often quite a challenge to mobilize all 10 of our campers from our cabin to a kickball field not even 25 yards away, let alone somewhere across the camp's several acres. Yet, my other leader Brad and I were delusional enough to plan a campout on the small island that lay in the middle of the lake. We wanted to reward our cabin for their great behavior throughout the month. This was a rather ambitious endeavor, requiring considerable preparation, collecting firewood, loading up on breakfast for the morning after, and packing campout essentials such as lanterns, tarps, and first aid gear. Then came our most difficult task, getting all of our campers to stuff anything they need for the next 12 hours into big black trash bags. Finally, after this hard work, to make sure we had all the little parts of the adventure fall into place, we began our journey. It was quite a laughable sight. 10 little campers lugging makeshift trash bag knapsacks, 3 times their size across camp to the appropriately named Cadet Beach. There, the 12 of us crammed into 2 rowboats and we started our voyage. It was a little bit of a struggle, but we finally did reach the majestic island in the center of the lake, just as sunset was upon us. Not surprisingly, our campers were totally energized when we arrived. Even though Brad and I were exhausted from the voyage, much to the delight of our cabin, we dove into all the classic campout festivities. A campfire, s'mores, ghost stories, and stargazing under the clear, picturesque New Hampshire night sky. Just as everyone was asleep, and Brad and I were marveling over what we had just accomplished, I felt something in my pants pocket vibrate. And soon realized it was my phone. I was a little caught off guard by my phone ringing, because I never use it while at camp, since there's just no need for it, and I never had any cell reception. Yet, by some stroke of fate, I had reception out in the middle of the lake. And after being wholly focused on making our campout excursion a success, my thoughts were no longer contained within the idyllic setting of the island, but transplanted hundreds of miles away as I wondered why my mom had called. I decided to return the call, and it was then that I learned that my grandfather, who had been fighting brain cancer, had lost his battle with the disease. While I was deeply saddened by the news, I was able to find great solace in the beauty with which I was surrounded. I found beauty in the tangible, the loons with their sonorous calls across the glassy lake, the innumerable and ever-constant white pine trees towering over me with their unmistakable scent, the crackling campfire that I had meticulously constructed hours earlier and that now stood as the last bastion of light against the crisp and total and utter darkness of the night. And I found beauty in the intangible, the little things, like the satisfaction of moving an entire cabin of boys that are completely dependent on me into the middle of the lake so that they could relish in an unforgettable night. Like hearing how much fun they're having and how they're already looking forward to next summer and realizing that I was instilling in them the same love for the place that I developed as a first-year camper. Like having a moment to pause, removed from the hustle and bustle of my normal days and nights as a leader in training, and reflect upon my 7-year tenure at camp. A moment to think about how much I had changed since my first summer there as a wide-eyed, harmless little cadet camper whose spacey tendencies rivaled those of the cadet campers I now led. Somehow, in my state of isolation, both from my family, as they are hundreds of miles away, and from the rest of camp, out on our own little island, reminiscing, appreciating, pondering, I found consolation and a sense of joy. Now, I'm sure this has come off as overly sappy, and I apologize for that. What specifically camp has meant to me over the years is not all that important. What is important is the idea of finding time for what you love, in the places you love. Because in the places you love, doing what you love, simply put, you can keep calm and carry on regardless of circumstance. While there are some vicious cycles that exist in the world, such as cycles of poverty and cycles of perpetual violence, the cycle of keeping calm and carrying on is joyous and uplifting. When you're doing what you love, you're at ease and cheerful. When adversity strikes, your tranquility will help propel you through the difficult times. And being able to overcome will bring you greater satisfaction and contentment. Do what you love in the places you love. Seek the joy. Thank you.